Hi guys, it's Trevor Lang with Peak Potential Physiotherapy and Wellness here again. Talking to you about our blog from Monday of this week. It was about overuse or under recovery. It's something I had mentioned last week. A little stat for you is that 60% of runners get injured each year. So that's not saying this is just for runners. This is anyone who's heard the term overuse injuries before. So any kind of repetitive injury, or just people say, "Oh, it's an overuse injury. You have to rest and go from there." But there's a term now called under recovery. So just like you train, you have a specific regimen for your training. You also have a specific regimen for your recovery. I'm going to go over kind of the three things about under recovery, as well as a specific treatment that we do here, strategy that we use for also recovery, as well as performance enhancement, and as well as for injury recovery too. So first off, overuse or under recovery. I didn't introduce myself again, so this is Trevor with Peak Potential Physiotherapy. I've been doing practicing physical therapy for over 12 years. Both myself and Matt Kari, who are here at our Carrierville location, have been working together for over 5 years, both in sports and in regular physical therapy. So the specific treatment I'm going to be discussing in regards to overuse or under recovery is ASTEM, and I'm going to explain that a little bit more later. But I wanted to go a little bit more in depth about overtraining and under recovery and what those things were. Okay? So if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. You can also go to our website and view the blog. It's going to have a lot more robust information than what I am going through today, and I will link to that underneath underneath the video. All right, so hopefully we're getting some people on. I saw someone viewing us. But so how do we overtrain? Essentially, we overtrain when the body when you're working either cardiovascularly or with your muscles, and the muscles break down and it doesn't have time to recover. Those structures are damaged. Now you want to have some soreness after you work out. People are always like, "Oh, well, I'm hurting after I work out." What that is a breakdown of the muscle that you used, and the body will then, hey Dean, and the body will then recover and build that muscle up to be stronger. So that's overuse injury. You can also have repetitive injuries. So it's going through and doing something too often that that then you'll have a repetitive injury, which will build up and then not allow you to do the training that you want to do. So there's repetitive injuries, and then there's also just overtraining, and one can lead to the other if you don't listen to your body. So I'm glad you keep running into me, Dean. I'll have to do it at the same time, so we'll always keep meeting up. Okay, so the damage to the structures need to be repaired, and that occurs with recovery. So how do you under-recover? Well, obviously you don't give your body the time that it needs to recover. When people say, look, you're overtraining, you just need to rest, if you rest, then one, you're not getting the training you need. Two, you could be having problems in conjunction with just resting. So there's three things that occur with under recovery, or three issues, and I'm going to be dealing with one of those with the treatment that I'm going to be discussing. So there's mechanical, there's cognitive, and there's nutritional. All three go in more depth on our blog, and again, I'll link to that underneath the video. So under recovery. If there's no recovery, then there is no healthy adaptation to the body. Again, you're sore, you work out, you need your body to recover so that then it gets built up stronger. The body will adapt to the stresses that is put on, but it has to be the correct stress and the correct dosage of stress, and therefore the correct dosage of recovery. So just like prescribing medications, you also have to prescribe dosage of training as well as dosage of recovery with frequency and duration with those. So the three aspects of recovery-centered program. Again, there's mechanical, cognitive, and nutritional. Mechanical meaning musculoskeletal, meaning muscles, joints, nerves, all that good stuff. There's also cardiovascular and nervous system. All need to be recovered. If you're not getting enough sleep, that's a problem. If you think nutritionally, you're not getting enough water in your diet and that sort of thing. And I'll mention a few of these as we go along. But to give you just a couple points, since I'm going to be diving into more A-STEM, like cognitively, you want to think about possibly the stress in your life, your work, those sorts of things. Do you need to start meditating or doing mindfulness relaxation so the body doesn't have that high cortisol in it when you're trying to recover? The third is nutritional. So again, your body needs the protein to repair the muscles that you are strengthening, as well as the carbohydrates that are needed to fuel and maintain your immune system. And another great thing is just your omega-3 fatty acids. That's not only good for cardiovascular or for your heart disease, but it's also good to help decrease your inflammation. A lot of people don't know that. Omega-3s and probiotics have been shown to decrease that chronic inflammation. Also, antioxidants, blueberries, almonds, other things. One of our other blogs has mentioned a lot of antioxidants, and that helps heal tissue. Okay, so mechanically, I want to discuss what A-STEM is, and the buzzword with everyone now is what's called IASTM, or Instrumental Assisted Tissue Massage, or it can stand for tissue massage or tissue mobilization. It's using tools to break up scar tissue, or you've seen people get bruised with this, and they are metal tools, there's plastic tools, there's all these things out that will supposedly heal your body. What I'm trained in, I'm the only one within about a 100-mile radius trained in what's called A-STEM. I got trained in it back in the early 2000s. It's gone through several iterations, but it was started by a physician and a physical therapist who thought these overuse injuries or repetitive injuries should be able to be treated with more scientific background. So I'm going to get a little bit nerdy on you and tell you a little bit of the science background, but I'm going to try to break it down into why this will be good for you and what we offer here. You can always jump on our website. There's a link down below. It says A-STEM. Click on it. It's got a lot of great information for patients as well as medical professionals to utilize. But it's a very protocol-driven treatment that will get you better faster. And I've also used it for recovery. So people after a race or prior to a race, because it stimulates the body to recover and to heal itself. Okay? So just to kind of show you, these are a couple of the instruments. I know they look kind of archaic, but it all depends on the type of edge that's on it. So what these are used for is to go over the muscles, and it's not very, very much pressure, because all we're trying to do is stimulate the healing process. So we go through several rounds of going over the injured muscle. I've used it for headaches down to plantar fasciitis, so any kind of those overuse injuries will work well with A-STEM. A-STEM doesn't really stand for anything, so it stands for a stimulation. So it's a stimulation to the body. I'm not going to go into all those other instrument assisted soft tissues. Some other ones out there, just so that you know. There's Graston, there's SASTM, and then there's a slew of IASTMs out there. So everyone's got their own philosophy. From my understanding, and I've read a lot of research on this, that everything stemmed out of A-STEM. So I can get nerdy on you and tell you about that, but basically all that stuff has grown out of A-STEM, because there's a lot of research behind it, and two of those companies, one of them the guy who started them used to work for A-Stem. But to tell you a little bit about what happens with overuse injuries, as well as repetitive injuries like tendinitises or tendinoses, what happens when the body injures itself? I know no one's going to answer my question. That was rhetorical. However, if Dean or Matthew are on there now, you can say, what happens to the body when it injures itself? Well, if you cut yourself, you lay down scar tissue. You create a scar. And that's what happens when your body doesn't recover correctly or has a repetitive injury. It lays down scar tissue. Now, you're not going to see that. It happens within the muscle or within the fascia. That's another terminology. That's basically the surrounding of the muscle is called the fascia. But you lay down scar tissue. And if you looked under a microscope of what scar tissue looked like, it looks like cooked spaghetti in a pot. It's all tangled up. And no wonder that's going to create problems and dysfunction. If you're all tangled up and then you're trying to actually strengthen or contract or stretch that tissue or that muscle, it's not going to feel good. What tendons and ligaments are supposed to look like are parallel. So they move and glide on one another, so a muscle can actually contract and pull and give you that power that you need. So if you have any kind of tear or overuse injury that's just not getting better, is therefore you've created scar tissue within that area that's not allowing you to function at your highest capacity. So what A-Stem does, it helps stimulate the body to resorb that scar tissue, and then through a specific exercise regimen and stretching program that we give you after using A-Stem, is you help align those fibers in the more parallel type manners. Now, people always say, well, is there bruising? Are you trying to break things up? And the answer is no, we're not trying to injure you. We're trying to get the body to heal itself again, to jumpstart the healing process. When people see me, or if it's a performance or recovery thing, the body's not doing what it's supposed to do. So what we do with A-Stem is we stimulate that to start working correctly again. For each injury, there's outcome measures. I know that just off the top of my head, plantar fasciitis, which people say is an overuse injury from running a lot or even just being on your feet. Don't quote me on this, but after 10 visits, people are 94 to 95% improved. And that's a 2-day-a-week treatment. So I can give you very specific outcomes of what A-Stem does. Again, I'm the only person certified in A-Stem within a 100-mile radius of Collierville and Memphis. I don't know why. Where I was up in Virginia, everyone did it because it's such a good tool in our bag. It's using these instruments, these medical grade instruments, to help the body heal itself. And if we can't heal ourselves, isn't it hard to train as hard as we want to do the things that we want to do? From running to being able to play with our kids on the weekend. It's nice out right now, even though it's supposed to be cold. We're here in February, so you want to get out and do stuff. However, if you're getting those little tweaks and aches and pains, you might not feel like you can do that. So A-Stem is something that helps promote healing as well as recovery. So I have people, CrossFitters and other things, who want to come do it after a hard workout to get the body moving. I was working with a CrossFit coach a couple weeks ago. Chronic knee pain. Had seen a orthopedist and said, "Oh yeah, you don't have anything torn. You just have arthritic changes." And I was like, "Hey, let me see what I can do." And I just came by just to show him what A-Stem was. Performed that on his leg. He got up and he said, "That must be some sort of voodoo, because my leg hasn't felt that good in a while." Because basically all we're doing is bringing blood flow to the area, getting the body stimulated to start healing itself again. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat. I'm glad I got a couple people on here. It's good seeing you, Dean, again, and Matthew. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'll link to the blog underneath the video so that you can look at that. But as far as recovery success, a few things to think about are these three areas, so mechanical, cognitive, and nutritional, in order to allow your body to recover correctly and not just be an overuse injury, because you can also have an under recovery problem. So it'll go into more details in the blog. If you're overwhelmed with your training schedule or don't know about your recovery plan, you can, we have a couple great endurance coaches that we work with at BPC. Shout out to Bryant and Dale over there, who can help with training and recovery programs. And then also, if it's more of a overuse injury, ASTEM allows you to train through that too. So we let the body be its guide. We stimulate it, and then we have to put the correct stress through that tissue so the body adapts. The stress the body is put on, it adapts to. So it was great getting to talk to y'all again, and if you have questions about ASTEM or just about the blog, please put it in the comments below, or you can get on our website and send us an inquiry, or just give us a call. So thanks again, and look forward to talking to you all next time. Again, this is Trevor with Peak Potential Physiotherapy and Wellness, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks.